Hey everybody, welcome to We Run on Reruns. I'm Amanda and I'm here with my brother Eric.
What's up everybody? We are here today with Season 8, Episodes 15 and 16 of Friends. That is the one with the birthing video and the one where Joey tells Rachel. And I'll tell you what, we're now really kind of getting into a weird spot here with this Joey and Rachel situation. We're not quite to the end of it. I kind of thought we were, but we are kind of getting close to closing the chapter on this storyline before we pick it back up again in the future.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, it's the end of this portion. Although, Eric, I'm just going to come right out and say it. I'm just going to say it.
Hey, you say it.
I surprised myself with watching these two episodes because I really like them. I like these two episodes a lot more than I think I have at different points. I don't know if it was just grouping these two specifically together, but before we even get into the details, I'm just going to say love Matt LeBlanc and Jennifer Aniston in these episodes.
Yeah.
I really like their acting. Like, I like how it all unfolds. It actually feels... the more I think about it, it does just feel very real. Like, it just feels real. It feels like something that, yeah, this totally would have happened to this guy living in this apartment with this hot girl, and like they are getting closer. They have a lot in common too. There's just a shared connection. It was inevitable. Like, if he hadn't sort of fallen for her, it would have almost been weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, obviously Joey's gonna have a thing for Rachel here. It just makes sense. I love then the interaction between Joey and Ross too. I feel like that also just felt very real. Like, it just really like what they do here. Obviously this is coming from a massive Friends fan in general.
Well,
so I'm always going to like what people are doing, but it just, I just surprised myself because I think that at different points, especially the second episode that we're going to talk about where Joey confronts Rachel directly with his feelings, I think it's felt cringier to me at other points when watching it. And now I'm kind of like, yeah, it is a little bit cringy in the way that, it's a really tough conversation, but good for you, for Joey, for having it. Because I think more often than not, you see people now almost avoiding a lot of these hard conversations, even though it's something that should be had. So I'm just going to preface this whole podcast with that.
Well, first of all, in that regard, I feel like these conversations just try to happen via text message with today's youth. There's no actual no one wants to sit down and like actually have a conversation. That's hard.
No.
And we see how hard it is here. Now, I will just double down on what I said last week. And that is, I know that the Joey and Rachel like love story is not necessarily everyone's favorite. I know I'd say if you asked Friends fans, they would say, no, that was bad. We didn't like that. Largely because everyone knows the end goal is Ross and Rachel getting together. And anybody that dates Rachel or anybody that dates Ross is just not good enough because the goal is to get Ross and Rachel together at the end. That being said, I still will stand on the soapbox saying to not explore this situation would have been a bigger mistake.
Yeah.
It would have been, I think people would have looked back on it more critically had they said, so they just never would have dated? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like,
right.
So to lay it out in this way and to have it be a very difficult thing that all three of them are dealing with is, I think that goes to the storyline. And I think it is more, I think what you're getting to is it becomes more digestible because it is hard for all of them to go through.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, all that being said, I also feel like maybe this is where it should have ended, right? Like, okay, after this episode, like, we'll see. Maybe my feelings will still have changed more than expected this rewatch, but I don't know. I feel like by the time we get to the whole, like, I keep picturing that scene where they're at the resort for Ross's thing and like they end up kissing and it's just a whole, then they start to like pursue a relationship. And I don't know. I'm going to put a pin in my feelings on that, but
I think
I don't know.
I think that I will find it reasonable. I'm not going to say that I like it, but I think like the plot points will connect enough that you go, this makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and I really did. It's making me also now think of that video clip that Tina sent us both in our group chat. My sister-in-law, your wife,
yes.
About Lisa Kudrow being put on the spot asking on a talk show whether Ross and Rachel were really on a break. And this whole thing boiled down to, well, Ross was a bad boyfriend. And she just kind of went on. She's like, you know what? The more I watch it, it's like, you know what, though? That dude just sucked. And it's like, and I forget, was it Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon? I forget which one it was.
I think it was Jimmy Fallon that she was on.
Jimmy Fallon,
and she was talking about it. And I think she was surprised at how positive a reaction from the crowd she was getting. She was like, oh, you guys all agree with that. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Listen, and being a Ross fan for his comedy, because I will always stand on that. I will die on that hill. Ross is like the funniest character, but yeah, was he a good boyfriend? No, Ross was a fool, but that's why he's funny. That's what makes him great. Like, he is a disaster. Like, and we just keep seeing that unfold, and that really does not change throughout the series, and we don't want it to. We want Ross chaos.
We want Ross chaos. I'm all here for all the Ross chaos. That being said, when we go back and we look at when we were talking about it, were they on a break? The answer is yes, they were on a break, but that doesn't mean what Ross did was okay. Ross was still in the wrong, like a lot. And that's, I think, what Lisa Kudrow was trying to get to. Like,
well, I think,
it's like, we all said, no, they were on a break. Like, it's obviously they were on a break, but he's just a terrible boyfriend. It's like, you're not wrong.
But I think she did say, no, they weren't. There was no break. I think that's what she did say, which
she's come back around and changed her mind on that.
She's like, no, there was no break. It's like, okay, well, I mean, technicality. Okay, we can go on about this all day, right?
Do you know the story that she's basically laid out there, Lisa Kudrow, about Friends? How this is like the first time she's watched it.
Oh, yeah. Well, she started rewatching it with Matthew Perry's passing.
Right, like she never watched it before, and then after Matthew Perry passed away, she started watching it again as kind of like, oh, well, this is a way I can watch my friend. And she's just kind of launched into this whole thing based on her first like rewatch of Friends from someone who was in it, which is great. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. I know, I love her. She is amazing. But for today's episode, guys, I know we've gone on a bit of a tangent there, which is very like us, but I do want to just give a reminder for those of you who didn't listen to our last episode, or you need a reminder of where we're at in Friends. In our last episode, we talked about Chandler taking baths. Joey was trying to minimize his feelings for Rachel, while Ross and Rachel found out that their baby is a girl. We also had Phoebe walking in on Monica, getting a massage from a different person. How dare she? And Joey suggesting that Rachel moves in with Ross, which she did at the end of the episode. And then Chandler also, we saw him breaking into Monica's secret closet where he was convinced she was storing Richard. but she was not.
I don't know that he was convinced that.
It was thrown out there.
It was put out there. It was in the world, though.
Which I appreciated, just imagining that scenario. Very different tone that Friends would have taken on if Richard was being stored in Monica's closet. I'm just saying, it would have changed the whole course of the series. So, Richard, I'm glad that you are safe at home, smoking your cigars and drinking whiskey, most likely.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about today's episode. This is season 8, episode 15, the one with the birthing video, where we have 3 standard storylines here. We have Joey and Ross, where Joey is actually going to confront Ross and tell him about his feelings for Rachel. We have Ross also breaking up with Mona, or Mona breaking up with Ross, really. Let's put it that way. And then we have this storyline with Chandler and Monica, where it is Valentine's Day. And for Valentine's Day, Chandler comes home from work and thinks that Monica has rented a porn, but instead it is a video that Phoebe has brought over so Rachel can watch a live birth being done, which I don't know why she would want to do that, but she wanted it. Chandler puts it in the VCR, because that's a thing that people had back in the day, and watches the video to his horror, not finding it to be all that attractive. And then Monica gets dragged into it, and eventually Rachel comes over and she's dragged into it, and everybody is just watching this movie. Amanda, what stands out from this storyline?
Okay, what stands out to me is a comment that you just made with, why would she ever want to watch this anyway? Like, girl, you're gonna have to go through it. Like, was she expecting to like pick up tips and pointers on like what to do? I don't know, because the video started and they were just right in like the middle of. It seemed like
right into it.
Like there was no like preparation. It wasn't like, oh, now my water broke and now we're gonna go to the hospital. Like, and now we're on our way. And no, the video just starts and she is in the middle of really intense labor contractions. And apparently the camera, luckily we don't see it. Because again, that would have completely changed the tone of Friends. But it's a lot, and I don't know what she was expecting to gain from this video. So why this was a thing? Is this a thing people did? I don't know, Eric. Did you guys watch
something that we did?
Videos?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. To me, personally, this would be one of those things where it's like, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. Like, you know you want to be prepared, but you don't need to see it.
No.
Right? No. So that's just my 2 cents on it. Now, does it make an interesting, like, I do think that brings funny moments to the show, though. The idea that Chandler, it's Valentine's Day, and Chandler thinks that Monica has got porn.
And she did, actually.
And she did. Of course, he's not interested in watching it at this moment. And then he turns it on because Monica's like, oh, come on, it's not that bad. It's a beautiful thing, blah, blah, blah. He turns on the video for her. And then she's like, don't touch me. Like, I do think that the story worked. Now, why? Great question. But I do think there were funny moments throughout. I love the idea of then Rachel coming over later after she's left Ross's apartment to then be sitting there trying to watch it, and Chandler saying things like, why have I watched this 3 times?
We're wondering the same thing, dude. Like, my other thought was like, when you saw what it was, why didn't you just turn it off? Like, you got the power, man. Like, just turn it off. I don't know what. He's like, make it stop. I'm like, you have the power to make it stop.
He was trying. He was banging on the remote.
God. I did like Monica's comment, too. No wonder my mother hates me.
Yeah, there you go.
Went full circle. Yeah.
There were a lot of funny little like one-liners in this. I do like the idea, and I thought it was interesting for Monica and Chandler, of course, who, as far as the story goes, are not trying to have a baby. But at the same time, we know Monica is going to want to do that down the line, for sure. So this is in their not so distant future as well. And to have all three of them sitting around on the couch being wildly not prepared for it is kind of funny.
I did appreciate the moment at the end, though, where then the baby is born and Monica and Chandler are kind of like, oh, look at the cute baby. And then they have come around and they're all excited. And Rachel's just like, screw you guys. You don't have to do it. Like, because they're trying to like really comfort her because hello, this woman actually is going to be going through this pretty soon. And,
yeah, it's way easier for the dad, by the way, too, to like be there and be like, oh, it's totally worth it. Look at this.
Yeah, right. Oh gosh.
Well, let's get to the moment that we've all been waiting for secondarily, which is Mona to finally call it a day. And in fact, I thought the most telling line from this, first of all, is that Mona says, or that Ross says, after they break up, I actually kind of judge her for not breaking up with me sooner. It's like, yeah, buddy. You know it's true.
I love that. I love that and this is one of the reasons why Friends is great, because they sometimes just say that line that everyone is thinking already, right? Like he kind of listed off, and he didn't even include everything. He said, well, I didn't tell her about Rachel's pregnancy, and then I had the locks changed, and then I lied about Rachel moving in. In a way, I judge her for not breaking up with me sooner.
It's true. And, it's facts. And we never knew what was wrong with Mona, but something had to be, because why is she still hanging around?
I'm convinced Mona has a lot of demons in that closet because what is going on? But before that, oh my goodness, this whole sequence of Mona, they have this Valentine's dinner planned, but then Mona decides, you know what? I'm going to show up at the house because they have this great conversation on the couch, and I'm convinced she wanted to check out what's going on in Ross's apartment, right? Because
I mean, maybe
Ross has not proven himself to be overly trustworthy. And I don't know if that was innocent, Eric. And that's why I kind of wanted your take on that. Like, because they had this conversation on the couch, and I love this line from Mona. I laughed out loud, actually, where she's like, yeah, why not have your ex-wife move back in with you? That wouldn't be awkward at all. Imagine I go away for a few days, come back, and my boyfriend is living with some woman he got pregnant. And he's just like, yeah.
And this is the thing. It's so painfully obvious where Ross's priorities lay. And to be fair, they lay in the right order. Priority number one is that he wants to be present for his child. And that is Rachel. And it is not Mona. And it's just not the right time to be trying to date someone else while also going through the, can't miss any of the pregnancy moments with some other woman, according to Mona. It's just a bad situation. Now, we all know it makes a ton of sense for Rachel to move out of Joey's and move in with Ross for all of these things. It's just smart. It's practical. It helps Joey disassociate a little, and it's the move that needs to be made. Everybody can see it. The writing is on the wall. It's obvious. But then you get Mona coming back and being like, yeah, can you imagine? Like if you just moved in with this girl, I'd be like, oh man, yeah, there is that. But that's why, Mona, you gotta go.
No,
gotta go.
I kind of disagree with you a bit. Because
that's not allowed.
I think we talked about this last week too. It's like, no, the move would have been Rachel moving into her own apartment in Ross's building. Her actually moving in with Ross. Yeah, to me, that is wild. And it's not going to go well. Like, this is or I guess it is 2 bedrooms. It's a 2-bedroom apartment, but it looks very small, and you're gonna now have a baby with your ex-boyfriend all living in this tight space. That is a recipe for disaster.
I'm going to push back on it. Looks pretty small. I think that apartment looks crazy for New York.
Well, okay. Yeah, right. For New York. I mean, listen, I'm just comparing it to like Monica's apartment there, but.
Well, Monica's apartment is ridiculous. Like, that's not a thing.
I don't think we never see like Ross's bedroom in this apartment ever, let alone the second bedroom. We never see any of that.
We do see parts of it.
We see the kitchen and the living
we see
room.
the kitchen. I know we get some other angles as it goes on. I don't know that we ever go back and see the bedrooms.
I don't think we ever see, more than the kitchen and the living room. Either way, all of this, like, I just love Mona's line that I went through, because I feel the same way. I'm like, imagine you go away for a few days, come back, and like, wow, now my boyfriend's living with his ex-wife, like some lady he knocked up. This is just because he's obviously downplayed the connection between him and Rachel still, right? Like, he's obviously played that way down. The fact that like they're having a baby together, but they're also like best friends.
You can't play it up when you're also trying to date this other girl. Like, it's just
problem.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Ross?
Yeah. Well, listen, the best answer was to take the Dutch lady's apartment, right? That is the best answer, but that is off the table. So now that that's gone, moving in with Ross is the next best option.
Well,
but it does it for Joey, for Ross, and for Rachel. But it is not the best option for Mona. It's like the craziest option for Mona. And this is where she finally like calls it, which is where I do like Ross when he goes to get her the Valentine's gift. And he's and like Rachel says, but Mona, I live here.
Yes.
Because Mona's trying to be like the nice one. That's like, listen, I know we just need some boundaries. You know, you're here now. Like,
could you just go back to your own
You
place?
have to go back to your place. Like, it's Valentine's Day. Ross is too nice to say it.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, but I live here now. And Ross steps in with, Happy Valentine's Day. Or something to remember me by. And
yes,
it is the second one.
It's definitely the second one. I mean, it is just, it's wild. It is amazing that it took this long. Kind of wish that we saw a little bit more of that fight, but we just hear about it because Rachel then goes back over to Chandler and Monica's, and that's where we have the storylines converging, where like then she's gonna watch the birthing video because she has to escape the yelling that has ensued.
The irony here with Mona is, while Mona may have done nothing wrong as far as we're concerned and have nothing hiding, right? We don't know that. We can assume that.
We can definitely assume.
But we can say, from what we saw, totally normal human being. She dealt with more stuff from Ross than literally any other ex.
Yeah, no one else.
Even Emily.
Oh yeah, no, this is. Well, okay, I'm not gonna say it's worse because they were literally at the altar, and
I'm not gonna say it's worse than Emily, but I'm gonna say more things.
Yeah,
she dealt Emily's big issue was but it was a big deal. You know, you say the wrong name.
That's a huge deal.
And like, you're already questioning moving to another country for this guy in like, after meeting him only a month or so ago. And it's time to cut bait. At the same time, Mona just kept taking punches over and over. And we're talking, I mean, the locks changing thing is the one that I think of all of them gets forgotten when you talk about how was Mona over the course of the time. And it's the most ridiculous one of all of them.
It is nuts. Like the idea of showing up at your boyfriend's apartment while he's having the locks changed after he gave you a key and then not immediately breaking up with him is like, I just, my brain hurts from even imagining that scenario. Mona, girl, I feel like there should have been a spin-off show just about like the real dark story behind Mona. Like, who is Mona? What's going on there? It's not good.
Listen, maybe someday we can get like a spin-off, like a one-off movie or documentary on the life of Mona and find out what was really going on with Mona. Yeah. But let's talk about Joey and Ross now. So now Ross, fresh off this, has to deal with Joey. And Joey has kind of come to the conclusion through some aiding from his friends that he needs to tell Ross what's going on with Rachel. And I love this conversation because Joey frames it completely as like, well, there's this girl that I like from work and she was dating this other guy, but she's not dating him anymore. And they haven't been dating for a while, but I'd like to date her, but I feel like things would be really weird between me and this other guy from work, because I don't want to hurt his feelings. And like, well, how is he? Well, he's the best, and we all know he's talking about Ross, but Ross doesn't know it. And so when Ross gives him the advice of like, listen, you got to go for it. Like, you have to do this. It does give Joey the green light to then say, hey, it's Rachel. And of course, that's where the episode just ends on. It's Rachel and Ross freezing in the doorway before he walks out. Takeaways from this.
Yeah, I like that they ended it with Ross's back to us too. I thought that was kind of nice, where it's like you don't see his face and you don't get the classic like Ross meltdown expression yet. Like it's just you just know it's been said. And now it's just out there.
Listen, it's more of a cliffhanger than some others. In fact, this was a Valentine's Day episode. I don't know if there was like a week or so off after, but this was kind of like a nice little mini cliffhanger, even if it was just from one week to another. The idea that you had no idea how Ross was going to react to that, finding out that it was Rachel.
Yeah.
Spoiler,
and
it's not good.
And I love his reaction though, which then we go right to the next episode with that, which we'll get to. But yeah, it's and before that, in this Joey storyline, he also got to that point because Joey was so sad he was even depressing that dog that Phoebe brought over to try to console him. It's like it was the happiest dog ever.
Ever.
Yeah, it's like he broke the dog. I love that. Yeah. So that's where we're at. So it's almost like, well, why are we getting to this point? Why would Joey like even confess this to Ross? It's because he cannot get himself out of it. He is even depressing the happiest dog in the planet. So that's kind of I feel like that's sort of how they explain that away.
This was also that storyline with the dog is largely the Phoebe storyline in this, where Phoebe is bringing the dog over and then coming and getting the dog, and then Phoebe's the one who kind of says like, listen, you gotta tell him, like you just gotta talk to him and see what happens. And so it's with all that prodding that we get this conversation, but ultimately I really do like this conversation. I feel like the way Joey framed it was reasonable. I think obviously not knowing how Ross will react exactly by the end of this episode is also a fun way to end it. And I will say, like, Joey says, this bothered me a little, and this is just me, like little things with the cameras and whatnot, right? Joey says, it's Rachel, and Ross freezes, and Joey freezes, and then Joey moves, and like then they end it. And it should have been like locked in that both of them were just frozen.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't have had Joey move after saying it's Rachel. Like he should have just said it's Rachel and not moved. I feel like it would have been more like frozen in time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what always bothers me about that conversation is, and maybe this is me just being nitpicky, but when Joey is talking about how he has this like amazing, or no, he even says he's his best friend at work, or like he's the best and he doesn't want, I'm like, Joey, who is this guy that you work with that is the best that Ross has never heard of? Like, we know that they are really only friends with each other. So the idea of him having this like love triangle at work, to me, that always sticks out in my mind. Like, who would he possibly be talking about, Ross?
I mean, listen, we don't know. Like, Friends is obviously snapshots. Like, we don't see the full 24 hours. We don't see these people at work all the time. I assume, like, we meet, the Chris Parnell character who's been calling Chandler Toby for years, and we didn't know he existed. So like these people run into people at work all the time.
Oh yeah.
Is it like so far-fetched that Joey would have somebody that he knows from work that's the best? I mean, the irony is Joey's work is acting, and I don't know that he's always with the same people all the time. So, but that doesn't matter, because all he needs to do is convince Ross. Yeah. And like the idea that it's a work person makes it more tangible, because you have to see this person regularly, and you don't want your relationship to be ruined with that person because of this other thing.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's just always been like, who's this guy who's the best at work that no one's ever heard of? I don't know. Just seemed a little bit far-fetched, but
I just don't know what other avenue he would have gone down that would have made sense. Well,
right? And that's
like, he wouldn't say like, he's not going to say like, I have this other friend. No, you don't.
Yeah. So, Eric, I just have to, before we move on to the next episode, I have to say there were 2 lines from Phoebe that I just have to call out from this episode that were great. One of them was, my mother was too busy planning her suicide to buy me saltwater treats, when they're talking about the saltwater
When they're talking
taffy.
about the saltwater taffy. Yes.
Yeah, and Ross is like, well, did you ever have this as a kid? And that's her response. Love that. I also liked when Ross is explaining to Phoebe that, well, he's going to buy all this romantic stuff for Mona and, get her all like excited about that and be all sweet, and then break the news about Rachel living with him. And Phoebe's like, well, if I hadn't said it before, I'll say it again. She's a lucky, lucky lady.
Listen, Phoebe had some good one-liners in this one, that's for sure. I will say, I thought Phoebe's reaction to saltwater taffy was also genuine to most people's reaction, if you've never had it. Like, it's like, what is this? Is it gum? Is it like, gum? What do I chew it? Like, what's happening here? Then it's, oh, that was actually pretty good. Can I have another one?
It made me want some, to be honest. I was watching, I'm like, man, it's been a long time since I've had some saltwater taffy.
Yeah, I was we took a vacation down to a town that sold a lot of saltwater taffy, like as a like touristy thing, and didn't get any. Thought about it, didn't.
Missed opportunity.
I know.
Like if you've had something like, like we've all had Airheads and stuff like that, but that's not the same. It's
not the same. This is different.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you can only get it when you're like on vacation or like on the boardwalk near a beach.
Yeah.
Those are the only places you don't just buy it. Does anybody just buy saltwater taffy for their house, to keep around?
I suppose you could just buy it online now too. Like I'm sure. Just like. Yeah,
the destination is not what I mean. Yeah. Those are the places that I feel like you would want to do.
I kind of want to know, so just buy some now. I'm not gonna lie.
Just gonna Amazon some saltwater taffy to have at your house. It's crazy.
But, okay, so I will say, because we're closing the door on our Mona chapter, we, despite Mona's dark past, because we've concluded that she must have one for sticking around with Ross, we also cannot stress enough the fact that she and Ross did just have a lot of quirky things in common too. Like, I really appreciated when he is just thinking about the taffy again, explaining how, well, it's actually not like ocean salt water that they make the taffy with, even though you can usually find it in ocean towns. It's actually made with fresh water that they add salt into. And Rachel's like, yeah, I saw the documentary, Ross. We watched it together. But Mona's like, yeah, I actually do find that very interesting. And I do too, Mona. And I see you, and they're both like nerds in that same way. And I just feel like there was potential there. But again, it was all about the timing for Ross, right? So
I feel like genuinely, when we look back, because we're gonna, by the way, at all these relationships and all the people that these people could have ended up with or could not have ended up with, it's so easy to see how Mona was the perfect girl for Ross. Mm-hmm. But Ross was not in the right headspace at the time.
And you know what? And it's true to life too, right? Like, so much of life is it boils down to timing, right?
Yep.
So, and Ross just doesn't have it. So,
it's just the worst timing ever for him to, because he would have had to have met Mona, which, by the way, somehow Chandler and Monica know Mona because she was at the wedding. So how did this never get set up?
What is this?
That being said, if he had met her, after Emily, after that had finally fizzled out, right, and he had gone half a season or so, but before the whole Rachel thing,
back. Right. Yes. Right.
There's a window there that this could have been the greatest love story, but it's not. In fact, it's the craziest crash course of a situation that's ever existed. Anywho, let's move on. All right, so now let's jump into season 8, episode 16. This is the one where Joey tells Rachel. And even though we left off with a little bit of a cliffhanger in that last episode, we're going to jump into the only other storyline of any note in this episode, which is Phoebe finding Monica's soulmate and then bringing him out in front of Chandler. Only for eventually Monica to reinforce to Chandler that she also does not believe in soulmates and the two of them are perfect together and blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. But we need to talk about this guy.
Yes. Yes. This is so weird.
My favorite section from this is when Chandler looks at there's two moments. Chandler is looking at Phoebe and Monica comes over, is like, oh my God, he's so amazing. He's so great, blah, blah, blah. And then she heads back over. She's like, I love him. And then she walks back over to get a coffee. And Phoebe looks at Chandler. She's like, don't worry, we'll find you somebody else.
Oh my God, Phoebe. Wow.
And then to double down on it, Chandler looks at Phoebe. He's like, what are we going to do? She's like, I don't know. They both want to live in a house made of cheese. Like, what are we supposed to do with this? It's like, you know what? How do you fight that?
And this is such a strange storyline. I mean, it's very Phoebe, I guess, but even a stretch for her. I mean, the concept of her asking Chandler how he feels about soulmates. He says, well, he doesn't really believe in soulmates. And then she's like, oh, well, that's good because I found Monica's. Like, what?
And by the way, she might have. I mean, this dude was right in the wheelhouse. Yeah. What was it? Tall, brown hair, British.
Obviously is what Rachel says.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Works in food. The both of them want to have cheese all the time and breads this is, and like, he loves this restaurant, which is the restaurant that she's the chef at. And he's like, oh, I want to talk to you about your menu. And it's like, oh my God. Chandler's just like, well, how am I supposed to compete with this guy?
And I do, though, appreciate, I guess, this storyline zoomed out, which is how they conclude it, which like leads to Monica and Chandler just having this discussion about soulmates and what that even means and like how it applies to their relationship, if at all. And they both like realize it's like, listen, relationships, you just have to put the work in. Like you love each other, but neither of them truly believe in the concept, I guess the romantic concept of a soulmate in its core, that the way that others might. And I thought that was kind of an interesting way, like, to bring that into the conversation of friends without like being too heavy-handed about it. But it's sort of like, oh, well, were Monica and Chandler just meant to be, or is it because they've chosen to love each other? And you know, the timing, as we talked about with Ross, I mean, the timing was there too, right? Like they've known each other for a long time, but they were just in the same place in their life, and they love each other and they're making it work, right? And I just like that conversation, because I think as like beautiful and as romantic and as it seems to, like, oh well, we're just meant to be together. Yeah, but you also have to want it and put the work in and actually care and keep showing up, right?
I think this is like a subtle lesson for genuinely anybody who is between 16 to 18 and 30. Like, you are not going to just find someone who is flawlessly perfect in everything that you ever wanted, and everything will always go perfectly.
Yeah, no.
And that's just it.
Right.
I mean, that just doesn't happen.
No.
Like, you have to work on these things. Like, as Chandler and Monica are kind of detailing out the idea that you have to work at a relationship, and it was not like predetermined that the two of them would find each other.
Right.
I fully support this decision. Like, I think that is the way to go. That's my thoughts on it. Like, I don't think that, but I do think that we live in a space right now where information is so easy, right? It's so easy to go onto Google and just get like the right information. It's so easy to use your AI tool of your choice and get whatever information you want and be right. That there's no interest in putting in some legwork. And so I think this doubles down then into relationships, and people want to just find the person and it's perfect. And if it's not flawless, throw it out, move on to the next person.
Disposable.
And,
yes.
Yeah, and I hear that for a little while. Like, you got to find someone that's right, but you also have to understand that right is not necessarily flawless.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, hello, look in the mirror. It's like, are you flawless? Then most likely your partner is also not going to be flawless, right? Like, that's, and it's then, but finding someone that you're wanting to work with and grow with and have a future with, like, can you see that? You know what I mean? It's like that choice. And I think, it's I think more than ever now, the idea of looking at this, I think, and maybe I know this, that Friends has become popular again with a younger audience, and I think certain things like that, it's a great message to have out there, that it's like, yeah, we're choosing to be together, and we're gonna work at this, you know, and we're gonna grow together and have a future together because that's what we're choosing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it. So it just, I like that. I like that storyline. But yeah, the idea that Phoebe is just bringing this guy around, and it's a guy that she's dating. Let's also point out, this is the guy that she's dating.
This is her active date that has showed up here.
Phoebe, this is why you have not found your soulmate, right? Because you're bringing this guy around for Monica. But
well, I did like Chandler at the beginning of that whole thing. Like, well, listen, if you think this is Monica's soulmate, why are you going to go out with him? And she's like, well, I still got to eat.
Wow. Yes.
I was like, okay. All right.
My God.
Dating for food.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But now.
Yes.
The Joey and Ross of it all.
Right. Because we pick literally, I love these episodes where we pick right back up from where
Ross is still looking out the door.
At the door. Yes. Yeah.
And,
sorry, did you say Rachel?
Yeah. Rachel?
Rachel?
He's like, oh yeah, no, but I was just joking, you know, like it's kind of a backpedal, but not really a backpedal. And listen, the iconic moments here are like the Ross just yelling Rachel and Rachel back over again, and then going to the like exiting and going to the window and popping his head back in and being like, Rachel, and then of course. Yeah. My personal favorite, like the capper on all of it, is when Joey turns and sees Gunther and he's like, Rachel! And it's like he's getting it from everybody.
Oh my God. The Gunther of it all is perfect because they're at Central Perk. And of course, Gunther is overhearing all of this. And for him not to chime in here would have been a miss. So this is wonderful.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's like because Ross is pointing out, he's like, you said you haven't been sleeping or eating. Like, this isn't, as Joey's trying to backpedal on what he said.
You know, I'm an actor, and as a group, we tend to be, you know, oh God, what was the word? Like, over emotional or whatever.
Yes, yeah.
Oh. Over dramatic is what he said.
Yeah. Nope. Right, Joey, you're not, it's not like that. So it's then we have the conversation between Ross and Monica too, where you know, Ross says to Monica, it's weirder than if you and I were dating. And Monica's like, okay, never say that again. And I love that. Yeah.
But Monica's able to convince Ross, well, hey, listen, Joey's talking about leaving the country. He wants to go to Vermont. He's asking me how to convert his money from dollars to Vermont money.
Oh no. Oh yeah. Love we get those Joey qualities sprinkled in there where it's like just reminding us exactly who Joey is. No, Joey. Vermont is not another country. But yeah, he just needs to be reminded that Ross is still his friend because Joey is mortified. He is thinking that Ross will never want to talk to him again, but he's really just still trying to understand and still, I think, trying to wrap his mind around it all, which honestly makes sense. Like, this is, his reaction here is not unlike his reaction when Rachel told him about the pregnancy in a lot of ways. And yeah, poor Ross has actually been getting a lot of surprises recently, you know.
He sure has. Yeah. He sure has. I do really like the fact that Joey, you know, then is saying to Ross, hey, don't go at the door. And he's saying like, here, come on in. Why don't you have a beer? And Ross is like, no, I don't know. Like, and he finally comes in and then Joey looks at him. He's like, well, you got any beer? Like, Joey's, of course, realizing I got nothing. Like, come on in and do this one thing. By the way, I don't have it. You happen to be walking around with beer in your pockets. Yeah, it is very Joey.
That is classic Joey. Then they
but he does have that weird green, like, melon liquor situation.
Right. Would you have gone for the melon liquor?
I certainly would have tried it. I do. One of my favorite shots that they do in, I don't know, the last season or so is this visual of like Ross facing camera and Joey facing camera, but Joey not being able to see Ross.
Yes.
And so Joey and Ross both drinking the liquid, and Joey absolutely despising it. Ross thinking it's delightful. And as Ross turns around to face Joey, he sees his disgusted face and is like, oh God, this is terrible.
Yes. Yeah. He decides to agree with him. He doesn't want to seem like the odd one out enjoying this sugary drink.
And then, of course, later they double down on it with Joey drinking it again, be like, oh, God. And then Ross is like, I know, right? Then takes like a secret sip and is like, oh, my God, this is amazing. Puts the cup down, but you see him like checking the bottle to be like, what is this stuff?
Yeah. And this is, but it's in this conversation that Joey, you know, he does come out with the fact that he's like, I don't know how to get over this. I've never been in love before. And Ross is like, whoa, okay. If you're in love, like, you owe it to yourself to tell her how you feel. Like, and you need to find out if she feels the same way. And if she is in the same place that you are, then I need to deal with it. Like, I shouldn't get in the way of that. And I just feel like this is like, talk about a real good friend here. Like, wow. You know,
this is upper echelon advice. This is super. First of all, it's great advice. Mm-hmm. It is the correct thing to say.
Yeah.
And it could lead to Ross being incredibly disappointed by the outcome. Yeah. But he knows he needs to be a good friend. And I know it's not referenced here, but it's referenced at some point down the line. I mean, Ross and Rachel have not been a couple for years.
Yeah.
At this point. Years.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Rachel even brings that up when, like, he's trying to flirt with the pizza girl in that episode, and she's like, I think that we're okay to see other people, you know what I mean? Like, she because there's some like awkwardness around, like, oh, do you mind hearing about what I think about this other woman? And it's sort of because I think the audience again like always thinks about them together, right? So it's like
they did have at least one night with a slide back.
Well,
and that's the thing. That's the thing. It's always lingering.
That's right. They're always on each other's hook. It's just the way it is. So, yeah, then we have Joey showing up at Rachel's, asking her out to dinner because he kind of panics in the moment. I think he wants to tell her right then and there, but instead he's like, let's just have dinner later. And then
she's like, can you just tell me quick that way? Because I got to go to a meeting. I'm like, don't say anything, Joey. Like, oh my God, this would be a nightmare scenario. Yeah. And he doesn't.
No. Yeah, but this scene at their dinner together, where he's confessing how he feels, it just felt like I really felt for Joey in this moment. Like it was pretty heartbreaking because you know what's gonna happen, right? Like you know, and I'm glad that they played it out this way and it wasn't like her almost considering it and almost like sharing feelings on the spot. No, you can't have that. So I felt like this just felt very real. I actually got a little bit choked up in this scene where it's like just the way that she responded to him, although she didn't share his feelings, was just so loving and kind because it's like, oh, like this isn't a joke. Because she's kind of at first she's like, oh, you're kidding, it's a joke. I don't get it. Like what are you trying to say here? And it's like he's not responding and she's like, oh, when did this happen? You know, like and he's just explaining. Oh, he tries to kind of walk it back like it's no big deal and tries to get up and leave. And that's when Rachel like makes him stay, you know, and they have this great embrace. And it was just a great scene between two people who really do love each other, just not in the same way, you know?
I think if anything, I would have loved to have seen Joey have a bit of dialogue at the point where Rachel says, well, how did this happen? Or when did this happen? And his response is, does it really matter? Like, Joey.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you could have laid it out there. You know, you could have said like, when we were watching Cujo and when we, went on that fake date, like that was the best date I'd ever had in my whole life. Like you could have pointed to moments and had Rachel understand a little bit better. Well,
and I think it all really also got heightened when Rachel was having her hormone imbalances and like really feeling like extra horny. Like they're having that whole conversation, and then they're living together and they almost debate like hooking up, and I feel like then they had the fake date after that. And I think it all just got in Joey's brain, and he's like started considering things in a way that he hadn't before. And it all kind of started, I think, with Rachel almost implying that they could have hooked up that date. You know what I mean? And then
I think that is for sure the starting point.
Yes. And then the fake date and realizing, oh, not only like am I attracted to you because you're just a really attractive person, so anyone would be, but it's also like we had this amazing connection, and realizing this really could be a wonderful relationship, right? And I think for Joey too, never really putting those two things together, because Joey's always just hooking up with people and calling it a day and not really like considering the bigger picture and like the deeper connection. This is really something new for him. So it's but I agree, Eric, it's like that was, if he had laid it all out there. But again, I think that's real, because in the moment he's feeling flustered and probably just doesn't even want to talk about it anymore. Like this is as much as he can lay out there. It's he's already feeling too vulnerable, and he doesn't even want to get into it because now he can already feel the shutdown happening, right? So like he doesn't want to make his case because he knows it's not going to happen. I think that's what's happening in Joey's mind.
I think you're probably right. I will say, side note, I love the waiter. Love the waiter.
Yes.
I just pulled up his IMDb. His name's Sam Pancake. He has been in a bunch.
Name? Come on.
Listen, these people all use like
Sam
fake names
Pancake?
now.
Oh.
I hope it is his real name.
Oh,
I hope
God.
it is.
Sam
Pancake. But that's what it says on IMDb. So I'm going with it. That being said, he's been in a bunch of, I've seen him like just as a bit character all over the place. Yes. And I couldn't find it on IMDb where I recognize him from, but he's just been in a ton of little bit parts. And I really like the scene at the very end when the whole place is closed down and they're sitting there at the table. Nobody else is there. The other waiters are all leaving for the day. And he's sitting there saying to the other waiter, like, I haven't even read him the specials yet. He's like, I think one of them's dying. I kind of hope it's the girl.
Oh my God. He's really cute. Yeah, it's bothering me because I feel like I recognized him from something else too. And like,
yeah, I can't place it exactly. He's been in a bunch of sitcoms though, and a bunch of, one-off dramas and some, B-list, C-list movies and stuff like that. So I'm sure I've seen him in a number of places. That being said, I do think he brings something, especially to the end of the scene, which is so heavy that it needs a bit of like brevity, I feel like, at the very end to walk off on.
I love that. They tend to do that in Friends, which I appreciate. Unless it's like a real, there are times where they don't, but yeah.
But they didn't like force Joey or Rachel to do something funny. They put that on another character and let them still have this like serious moment, which I think was very important.
Yeah.
Well, now we're going to jump into our IMDb ratings segment of the podcast, where we talk about our ratings and we put them up against your ratings as we find them on IMDb. Not to mention, we're going to talk about our favorite and least favorite characters of these episodes. Amanda, I'm going to let you lead off here since you started this podcast talking about how much you like these episodes.
I do. And I picked Joey as my favorite because I just really appreciated both of these episodes with him coming clean to Ross, and then really just facing it with Rachel and just telling her how he feels, taking Ross's advice and just putting it all out there. I just really felt like his character also, just Matt LeBlanc, was excellent in these episodes. Just really liked it. Really loved Rachel too. To me, it was between the two of them. So that's really where I landed on my favorite. How about you, Eric?
It was down to Joey, Rachel, and Ross. Like, that is the trio that this is between. I felt like Joey did so much heavy lifting in these episodes that to not give it to him would be a mistake. So I also gave it to Joey. And that's not saying, like, just because he was the main focus that he gets this. He was really good, and it was a different type of Joey. I really like seeing that. I like seeing sometimes a little bit more serious Joey. And, you know, I saw this thing, and it was on Reddit somewhere, where people were saying people don't like Phoebe as much as they should, and people don't hate Joey as much as they should. Like, people, the person was saying that they essentially felt Phoebe deserved more love.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Joey should get more hate than he gets.
Interesting.
And while I can agree with the premise in general, I will say on a rewatch where I've been focusing specifically on those sorts of things, to me, Joey gets so, like, he's so good in stretches.
He is.
That I didn't really credit him for before.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I'm noticing Joey a lot more when we really get into, like, who our favorite character is. I mean, it was like the season of Joey for a long time. So, yeah, I feel like it was really all of season 7, right? Like, that was where we were like...
He's had some pretty long stretches. And this whole thing with Joey and Rachel is really carried by Joey. Rachel certainly has her part, but Joey is also involved. In fact, I'm looking back, my personal favorite has been Joey or Rachel for 4 straight episodes now. So that's where we're at. Yeah. Now, I will say my least favorite, I'm going to give it to Phoebe. Like I said earlier, Phoebe did have some great one-liners, and you brought up a few of them. I think, you know, Phoebe bringing the dog over, and then Phoebe bringing over
Dawn,
the soulmate.
Yeah.
Like, the only other person it could be to me is Chandler.
Right.
And I want to give Chandler credit for the birthing video. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So I went with Phoebe as my least.
Eric, we're on the same page. It's like because I loved her lines too. She had really great one-liners. We got to give this to someone though. And for me, Phoebe bringing Dawn around was just unforgivable. Like, Phoebe, what are you doing? Sometimes she does stuff.
Crazy.
I'm like, what is happening? And I mean, it's so funny,
at the same time, super funny.
That's why it's
super funny.
It's honestly like picking our least favorite in Friends is like, all right, like, it really is the least but still favorite character. So yeah, it's I'm just going with Phoebe because you got to give it to someone. Well, that's what we've decided to do anyway.
That's what we're deciding here.
Yeah, but
okay, so I'm going to leave this now on your plate. These were, you said you really like these episodes.
Yes.
I'm curious because by you saying that, I think I might be notably lower than you. But
you might be,
I don't know how much you like them.
I feel like I'm going to be definitely higher than the people on these. I just have accepted it. I have this feeling I could be wrong. Like, sometimes I
agree. I think I will be higher than the people too.
Yeah, but
because I just think the people aren't going to like these.
I guess. So I don't think either of these. I would be shocked if we fell into the 7s with either of these. To me, that would not be. I
don't think that. No, that shouldn't happen.
No. But for me, I gave the one with the birthing video slightly higher, and I gave that one a 9.1.
Oh wow, that's what I would. Okay.
Because to me, I'm looking at those 3 storylines. The birthing video itself, Mona breaking up with Ross, and Joey confessing his feelings of Rachel to Ross. Like, all three storylines are so funny in that episode. It was a really solid one. Like that's so
you
good.
are making a strong case here for that.
Like there really is no throwaway bit in that episode at all. The whole thing was great from front to back. Like it just really was. And I feel like it's underrated. And I'm saying that before I even know what the people are going to say. I just have this feeling it's underrated. And then I gave the one where Joey tells Rachel, I'm giving that one a 9. I really liked it. Like, even though, okay, we did have the whole bit with Phoebe and the soulmate guy, but it was such a blip in that whole episode.
That was still funny though.
And
still
it's
funny.
Still funny. Yes, it was still funny. And I don't know, the whole thing with you had the continued storyline of Joey with Ross and Ross's reaction, which was hilarious. And then when they got more serious and had their own conversation, and then the conversation between Joey and Rachel at the end, it was a great episode of Friends, and they really, I felt like, showcased more diversity there, and just with their acting skills, and I liked it. It was good.
Well, I will say I was higher on these two than most, but I'm not that high.
Okay, that's yeah.
I have the one with the birthing video being the best of the two, but I have it as an 8.6. And I have the one where Joey tells Rachel, a little bit lower, 8.3.
Oh, yeah.
My reasoning behind this, to me, an 8.5 is a lock-in classic Friends episode. Gonna watch it whenever it's on. To get to a 9, it's got to be really impressive, one of my favorites ever. To be below an 8, something's gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
So to me, the one with the birthing video, I give an 8.6. It is higher up than an average Friends. I think it's better than the average Friends episode.
I think so.
And then the one where Joey tells Rachel, here's the catch with that one. You have to be in the mood to watch a serious Friends episode.
It's true.
And that, to me, while very good and important for the story, and I don't dislike the things that happened, it's just not one that I need to rewatch regularly.
Yeah, I get that.
So that's where I've fallen on those ratings.
I think it was just the moment I was in, I'm like, man, this is a good episode.
It's a good.
It's getting a 9.
Don't get me wrong. When we're talking about performances, it's probably very high up on the list. But I'm looking at this more of a rewatch. How often do I want to rewatch this one?
No, I get that. And I usually lean on the sillier the better, and this was definitely not. Usually, as far as the episodes go, this is more of a higher rated one for me as far as the serious tone, but man, they just pulled it off. So Eric, I am very curious about
I'm gonna make a small adjustment.
Okay
I'm gonna move the birthing video from an 8.6 to an 8.7.
Oh, okay.
And to me, in my head I just started laughing with Ross coming in with the gift being like, happy Valentine's
oh my
Day.
God, that's what I'm saying. Oh my God. Oh God.
Yeah, and I'm not going up to a 9 on this, but I'll give that one a little bit of a boost. I was between the two scores anyway. And that one I would watch more than once.
That's true.
So that being said, I will say the fans are definitely noteworthy. Notably lower than we are. Notably, yes.
I had a feeling.
So we'll start with the higher one for us, which is the one with the birthing video. You gave it a 9.1. I gave it an 8.7. The fans also viewed this as the better of the two, giving it an 8.2.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Now, the next one, the one where Joey tells Rachel, you gave it a 9. I gave it an 8.3. The fans gave it an 8.1.
Okay.
Which I think is similar enough to where I was that people probably are feeling the same way. Good episode. I don't think anybody doubts that. It's just not a Friends episode. It's more of a drama than anything else,
is.
to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But like getting a 9, like if you're in the mood for it, it's a great episode to watch.
So true.
Well, thank you so much for listening to the We Run on Reruns podcast. Please check out our socials. Find us on Instagram, on YouTube, wherever you listen to our podcast. If you could just give it a 5-star rating, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever. Don't forget, you can find us on Patreon. We have a free Patreon account that you can find at We Run on Reruns. For Amanda, this is Eric. Enjoy watching Season 8, Episodes 17 and 18. That is the one with the tea leaves and the one in Massapequa, which I am really ready for. Happy rerunning, everybody.
See you later, guys.